Hello again and welcome back to my channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Prop Up & Co, and to round 4 race 2 of our Pro Split 1 Sunday Championship here in France at Alsace Village. Right, so reverse grid for this race 2, another 13 laps around the 2.2 mile anti-clockwise circuit, and well, this is the grid going into that race. So Enzo Jack is on pole position after unfortunately making contact with Smith there in the second of Ferraris in second place. He acknowledged the touch, waited for Smith, who had a couple of big moments himself, but unfortunately coming in 14th place in the end. Smith is in second. Unforgiven in third, didn't have the greatest race either. He had a few moments out there. Panic in fourth with a bad start, never recovered on that one. Victor in fifth, Harry in sixth, Fitzy seventh, Gower in eighth, with Nath in ninth, Scott in 10th. Good finish for Scott in the end. Just managed to get through on Nath and Gower. They were finding it out, and a little gap opened up for him, and he shot straight through the middle of them and got himself through and up the order. Motorstorm in 11th, didn't quite have enough in the end. Tyres gave up on him in the end, didn't it, in race 1. Frowney in 12th, good third place for him. Brisbane in 13th, and our winner from race 1, Ethan, in 14th, who I'm glad to say has now got his proper livery on. Is there any cars out there that hasn't? Because it generally just throw up one or two. No, it looks like it's all behaved itself this time, so it all looks good. Okay, right, watch those lights. Here we go. Full start from Enzo. He's trying to get that jump on them all, but it didn't work. He's going to get swallowed right up here at turn 1, straight from pole position to 11th place, all getting really snarled up. Someone's backwards there. That's Fitzy. Oh, and I think Enzo's waiting again. So I don't know what happened there. He got the terrible start because of this really tight bottleneck through here. Oh yeah, and I think there was a slight touch onto the back of Fitzy from Enzo. Again, Enzo waiting for Fitzy, but well, that's put paid to this race 2 for them. We do have a stop, remember though. It's mediums and hards in this race, as you will know by now. So let's go through the tyres actually. Enzo on the mediums for Fitzy, hards for Motorstorm. We've got Frowney on the hards for Scott and Ethan and Nath and Brisbane. So all the ones in the back here on the hard tyres, and we've got Panic on the mediums with Gower mediums, Harry mediums for Victor, Smith on the mediums, and our leader at the moment, Unforgiven, on the mediums as well. So as you would expect, all the medium tyres out in the front. So Unforgiven managed to get himself through after that incident at turn 1. Smith in second will be hoping to well, at least finish this race a little bit better than he did in race 1. Fault of his own. Victor in third. It's Harry in fourth. Gower in fifth. Panic in sixth. Brisbane, first of our hard runners here, in 7th. It's already Unforgiven at the front. He's under pressure from Smith. He's going to go down the inside here, coming into the final corner, and I think we'll get the job done. Unforgiven will try and stick it out around the outside, and he's going to stick it out there, but I think Smith's going to have that better line through there, and he does. Takes the lead now, Smith, crossing the line to start lap 2. Now hard on the brakes through here, drop it down to about second gear. Really slow through there, and then this horrible left-hander through, which really throws the car sideways because of that camber up this really steep hill down the other side to 6. It's all starting to get a bit interesting here again. Panic, as Brisbane has a look up the inside of Panic. It's going to be on the outside. Oh, and there's a little nudge across, just taking Panic across the grass there, and Ethan's taking advantage of that and goes up the inside of Panic, straight onto the back of Brisbane already. A bit of lag on Brisbane there. With a seam anyway. Oh, Panic drifting it around 11. Sorry, that's not 11, is it? Drifting it through. Right-hander. That was 11, sorry, yeah, I was right. That was turn 11 through 12 and into 13, round 14 now. It's the two Porsches side by side. Scott will be looking for another similar race, although you'll probably want to try and get through the traffic a little bit earlier this time if you can. You got held up a little bit in the end in race 1 and then just run out of time. So we'll be looking to try and get himself up the order here. Panic staying with him as they come through turn 2. So trainer cars and Unforgiven's under pressure there in second place. Smith's going away in front, but Unforgiven has got Gower and Harry right behind him now. The two AMGs chasing down that Beamer. Unforgiven taking that wider line, but then set him up on the inside. Through this is a lovely corner. I love this corner. This is probably my favourite corner of them all on this circuit. Once you've got your line, you can stick to it and just keep your foot planted all the way round. Victor's trying to get past the two Mercs ahead of him, and and Unforgiven's gone off. Where has he gone? Oh, he's there now. Was there a... Oh, he's facing the wrong way. Let's have a look. Second. Now, was there a little tap on the rear end, or was it? Oh, it does look like there was. Now, I think that might have been a bit of a domino effect. Everyone behind him just kind of... Well, Gower's acknowledged the fact that he hit him, but actually, someone hit Gower. Did he get a nudge behind? Let's have a quick look at Gower's point of view. We need to go back a little bit further. So, coming up to the turn-in now. Yeah, I think actually Harry hit the back of Gower. Was it Victor who hit the back of Harry? This is where I think there might have been a domino effect, but I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think it was actually maybe it was started. It's just a chain reaction, really. But Gower is the one who, the final one to hit Unforgiven off, so he will wait for him. Although I think Harry also is he's slowing down, so there's a little bit of well, I don't know whose fault it is. So they're both both acknowledging the fact that there was a touch there, but these other drivers around them don't care. Nate's got up to 8th place. I think Harry's just gonna. He's definitely waiting. So I think there's some chat going on about who's should be waiting and who isn't. So anyway, let them get on with that. We're here to watch the racing. It's Frowny. Oh, Panic's lost it in the final corner. It's all going on here, isn't it? So Panic down. It's behind Scott coming down to turn 17. Again, it's all pretty close down here. And then Dizzy, I think he just had to abort mission at the end there. Otherwise, he was going to hit the back of Fitzy, I think it was. Squidly, he just had to go on, straight on. It's Unforgiven and Gower these, so Panic's got himself right the way back into the clutches of those two. Now, who was it in pit lane? We got Ethan in, Brisbane in, Scott's in, and Frowny. So we've got the hard drivers going in now to change onto their mediums. Start of lap 4. Smith, meanwhile, will be well, a little bit more pleased about where he is at the moment. He can just run his lines. That's a pretty quick service here in pit lane at Alsace. It's a pretty short paddock actually, so you're in and out fairly quickly. So if you can grab yourself a decent gap, and I wish it would show you the gaps here, but I haven't got it between himself, Victor, but he won't be in yet anyway. But when it is time to come in, if he can start to pull away and get himself a bit of a gap, Smith, I reckon it's about a 20-second pit stop. So if you can get yourself a gap of about 25-30 seconds, which I know is not going to be easy in this league, he might have still have a chance of coming in and coming out in the lead. But that we'll see how that plays out when it's time. So Victor into second place now. So he's managed to get himself up through all the mess and fun and games as Motorstorm comes in. Fitzy into third. That's your top three, and actually it's quite a nice gap then back to Panic in fourth place. Now up in fifth with Unforgiven in sixth. So how things change, these two were right at the back after they're coming together. Here they are in fifth and sixth place all of a sudden, with all the drivers going into pit lane. So the tower is constantly changing down the left of your screen. Will continue to change obviously when these guys come in, but at the moment, Gal in fifth, Unforgiven in sixth, and Harry in seventh. Unfortunately, it's all kind of spread out a little bit here now for these at the front. Ethan in eighth. He has been in and come out on those mediums, so he's good to go to the end. So too is Brisbane in ninth, Scott so in 10th, so in 11th, Frowney in 12th place, Rafe in 13th, Motorstorm in 14th. That's all the guys that have made their stop. It looks like Fitzy, looks like Smith is fairly comfortable there in the lead. Victor in second, but looks like Fitzy is actually catching Victor. None of them will be in yet, but yeah, that gap certainly looks to have come down. And, yeah, he puts in that fastest lap, Fitzy, at 1:54.7, so he is pushing on a bit here. He's Fitzy up the hill through 4. This next corner down here at 6, another great corner this one. Just clip that inside there. Just a little lift through and then hard on the brakes for the hairpin at 7. In 4th place, Gow in 5th, Unforgiven in 6th, Harry 7th, Ethan in 8th, closely followed by Brisbane. Now these two really left each other alone, have they? It was all over each other in race 1. Here they are again. Looks like forbearing battle in race 2. So it is Ethan ahead of Brisbane at this point, and Scott in 10th behind them. Oh, Brisbane, he's having a moment there, and that's going to allow Scott to go past, is it? Maybe not, but he's closed right in. I think he just grabbed some grass there, did Brisbane. Come out of 10, didn't he? Around 11. It's going to be on exit here, isn't it? Yeah, actually wasn't as bad as I thought, but I don't know, maybe it was in the end. But like he just grabbed a little bit, and all of a sudden it was quite a bit more, wasn't it? So Scott now is going to have a good run on Brisbane here. So come round 15 now. What does Scott? If he can get a good exit here down towards final corner to pull a move on Brisbane. But Brisbane's going to be quick in that Viper. And, it's not close enough, Scott, so that move's not going to be on this time around. It's Frowney in 11th place with Enzo in 12th. Nath in 13th. Not much change back here. In Motorstorm still in 14th. But certainly Scott is doing everything he can to get that pass done on Brisbane and get himself up into 9th. So Brisbane's a hard driver to pass, and when you're in a quick car like that as well, makes it doubly hard, doesn't it? I think Ethan is either just conserving his tyres a bit here, or does he have a problem? Because Brisbane seems to have closed in quite dramatically onto the back of Ethan here. Or is it just Brisbane who's pushing on? Scott's going with him, but yeah, Ethan just doesn't appear to have quite as much pace as the guys behind him, it would seem, looking at him on the screen here. As I say, it could be that he's just a little bit of conservation work. Harry there ahead of them in 7th. Unforgiven in 6th. Go back to our leader Smith and see if Victor's closer. Victor is still in 2nd with Fitzy in 3rd, and no real difference there. Smith still, it's not as big a gap that he did have. But he's still in the lead. Of course, these guys down to Unforgiven, I think, or Gowach, Harry, have all got to come in. So down to 8th, 7th place. Got to all got to pit, and then Ethan is the next of our drivers who are closing in that have already pitted on those medium tyres. So it's all mediums at the moment out there, but these are the new mediums versus the old mediums ahead of them. It's beginning to show. Harry did get past Unforgiven to get into 6th place, so a pass was done there from Harry, but I think their worry now is this load of cars coming onto the back of them. Got Ethan, Brisbane and Scott, who suddenly made it a 5-car chain, being led by Harry at the moment. So these guys going to be coming in. It's a bit like that Merc's turning particularly well on those tyres at the moment. Unforgiven sense pass coming on, and he does need to get that pass done, knowing that he's got severe pressure from behind as Ethan does have a look. And then, of course, these are going to be better turning on these cars. Having said that, it's not great, these tyres, are they? Have these been in? Maybe they haven't. Yeah, I think they have, you know. I'm sure they have. Scott definitely has. So we'll see. They're all going to dive in. No one in at the moment. What about Harry? Is he going to stay to left-hand side? No, they're going to go for it again. So they're going to have another. In fact, Ethan has got past Unforgiven. So was that down at 17? Looks like it. Dives down the inside. It was a clean pass in the end. I think Unforgiven see him coming. Brisbane's trying to go with him, but Unforgiven's going to shut that door. But now they're coming up towards turn 1 and 2, and we know this is where it all bottlenecks up. And actually, Unforgiven staying right out of the way. Yeah, he's said, no, don't want no part of that. You guys, crack on. It drops him down to 10th place. He was on the inside, and it's probably the wrong place to be going into turn 1 and 2. And yeah, I think he obviously sensed that. Thought, look, I'd rather just let them go than cause a major pile up. So Unforgiven. The right thing there. Then we got Harry then, Alsace in 6th. All over the back of him now is Ethan in 7th with Brisbane in 8th. But Harry holding on for dear life. End of this line of cars, and well, I think he's going to be coming in shortly, Will Harry. You can see he's got absolutely nothing now. He can't turn the car, he can't stop the car, and consequently that's why he's gone off. And bye-bye goes the rest of the cars that were behind him. So up to 6th place goes Ethan. Brisbane in 7th, now attacking Ethan through 14. Come into this breaking 15. Scott behind them still. So this 3-car battle has gone on for a little while now, hasn't it? Really hasn't eased up. But it's been as clean as you like up to this point. Ethan still holding off Brisbane, coming through that final corner. Now I'd be surprised if Harry does stay out. Imagine he will go into pit lane now, because he was struggling. No, he's not. He's staying out. So I'm surprised. I mean, they're not in terrible shape, his tyres, but just didn't look like he had anything in terms of turning or braking in that AMG. But like I always say, I'm not driving it. He's in there. He knows how it feels. Just watching it. So that battle goes on. So let's see if there's any change at the top. I don't think there is. Victor has got a little bit closer to Smith, but Smith is due to be coming in because he's got no fuel whatsoever, and his tyres are getting to the point where they're onto the limit now. I think she's got to run a minimum. Oh, Victor's lost it, and there goes Fitzy to take second. He just got himself on the grass, I think, there. Back end just grabbed too much grass from Victor. Clip the inside apex, that was all good. Then yeah, just run it wide, and then it swung on him, and yeah, there was no saving that. So Victor down to 3rd place. Imagine he will be in, along with Fitzy and Smith. So our front runners are now due to come in. They've got, as I say, got to run a minimum of 2 laps anyway on those hard tyres, and we are about to start lap 11 at the end of this one. So would have had to have come in anyway. If it wasn't this lap, it would have been the next lap. But fuel is obviously telling them they've got to come in now. So Smith will stay to the left. Quite a tricky little pit lane entry here. As you come out of 17, you're going to hang on to the left-hand side of the circuit. And I think Victor's staying out, so he is. So he's got one more lap of fuel in his Porsche. So we see Smith, Fitzy, Panic all in pit lane now. Gower's got himself to second now. Is he doing a Victor strategy here? Because he's got only enough fuel to do one more lap. Tyres will need changing. I think he was one of the guys that started on the medium, so he has still got to run that hard tyre. So he will have no choice but to come in at the end of this lap to run them hards for those the minimum 2 laps. Now Ethan and Brisbane have all come in, so Ethan could be your effective leader once the 2 ahead of him go in, which will put him obviously at the front of this race and will put him in contention for double victory. But he's got these 2 drivers right behind him in Brisbane and Scott. But may put pay to that idea. Hotting up nicely though. It's come to the end of the day again. Headlights are on. Shouldn't be completely dark by the time we finish this. You know, we have only got a couple of laps to run, but we will see. Let's just go back to our leaders as they come down to the final corner where Victor will definitely be in because well, he needs to run those minimum, plus he's got no fuel, so he's coming in. Gower likewise will also be doing exactly the same, so yes, it will be Ethan who's right behind him coming through the final corner, who's going to take the lead of this race. And well, I think that will be that in terms of these three. It's just what order they end up in. At the moment, it's Ethan on the top spot with Brisbane in second and Scott in third. Still got 2 laps to run, remember. So all sorts of things can happen between now and the end, trust me. Frowney has got himself up to 4th, so another good race from Frowney. Remember, I think he finished in 3rd in race 1. He's not going to get a podium. Well, say he's not, but at the moment he's just off that podium, and the guys ahead of him do look quite strong at the moment. It all depends if they get themselves tangled up. Frowney might just be in for a bit of a bonus. He's there in 4th at the moment. Smith in 5th. This is better from Smith. Fitzy in 6th now. He has looked very, very quick around here as Fitzy in that Porsche. So I think he probably quite likes this circuit. Now putting pressure onto the back of Smith, so Fitzy's not content with 6th place, is he? He's going to try and have a go at Smith at some point. Do a little switchback, lovely move. Oh, but Smith's gone off now. Oh, now was there a... He hasn't gone again, has he, at the end of the race? This is what happened in race 1, surely not. So Fitz was on the outside. He'd done the switchback. There was a gap there, but did he... I don't think... I'm not sure. I can't really see from that angle. Might have to... Let's go back and go to this. Let's get the right camera. Go to this camera here and we'll have a look, shall we? So there's a switch. Well, there was a gap there and then he just lost it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there was actually much of a touch there. I just think he lost it, Smith. But it's actually the same corner that he lost it in race 1. So that corner does not like him. So he's down to 11th place. So Fitzy up to 5th. Nath in 6th place. Victor in 7th with Panic in 8th. Gower in 9th. These are all the cars that have gone past Smith at that moment, with Motorstorm in 10th. And there's Smith getting it going again in 11th place, but he's going to be absolutely cursing in that cockpit. As your luck for Smith on his return after a couple of weeks away. Harry in 12th place with Unforgiven in 13th and Enzo in 14th. On those hard tyres and just not really getting it going at all around here for these guys. So anyway, back to our leader. Final lap it is. Just coming out of 10 into 11 here. Ethan now looks like he may take a double victory. Scott, meanwhile, has got that 2nd place from Brisbane. That was right in the final corner. Gets it done at the end of penultimate lap. So Scott to 2nd place. Brisbane to third. So I didn't think it was going to stay in the order that we was last with them at. I knew it was going to be this three, but still not entirely sure what order they're going to be in, because Scott and Brisbane still finding it out, and that's a play right into the hands of Ethan, who's just pulling away at the front here. These two will be fighting and slowing each other up. Frowney, I'm afraid, I don't think he's going to have enough to get himself on the podium, but fourth place nevertheless is another great showing from him. A third and a fourth for this round. I'm sure he'll take that any day of the week. Fitzy up to fifth. We know he's had pace round here, so I think overall he'll be probably happy with fifth place if he stays there. Eighth in sixth, Victor in seventh, Panic in eighth, Gower in ninth, with Motorstorm in 10th, who does hold that fastest lap as well, 1:54.4, but I don't think he's going to get himself anywhere on the podium in this race too. But they're all, say all of them, are all close to the fuels being empty, or the tanks being empty I should say, of fuel, all flashing on the red. So we're going to go back to our leader anyway, because they're coming down to that final corner here in race 2 at Alsace Village. And Ethan, he is going to take that double victory. He's going to be close with the other two, but Ethan will come out that final corner, flash of the lights. He will win for the second time tonight, with Scott in second, Brisbane in third. Well done. Frowney will grab that fourth. Good for him, that one. Fitzy, I think he'll be pleased with the fifth place there, ahead of Nathan in sixth. Then a close finish between Victor and Panic at 7th and 8th place. Gower, a bit on his own in the end in 9th. Motorstorm will finish in 10th, but will get that fastest lap. Smith, well, he'll be disappointed and finishes in 11th. Harry in 12th, with Unforgiven in 13th, and Enzo in 14th. And I think Enzo may have either run out of fuel, or he's had another problem somewhere. No, he's not run out of fuel, but long way back, Enzo. So not the race he wanted in the end, after starting at the in third place, I think it was, on the, well, actually he was at the front, wasn't he, in pole position, but he had that little coming together at the start, so he comes in 14th. And that is your race 2 from Alsace Village. I want to say thanks anyway as well to Nath, as always, for sharing those replays. And that's it for this round. As I say, we stay in France for the next round, the start of our longer endurance races, and we will be in St. Croix, so it's not a million miles away from where we are here, but that's going to be a really exciting race, that one. So join me for that in a week's time. Hope you enjoyed tonight from the Pro Split 1 Championship, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.